Hey everyone, I'm going to run through the E5 unemployment reading with you and kind of look at these situations so you understand them. They'll give you some situations you have to decide what type of unemployment is it, or is the person not in the labor force. So I'll give you some time where you can pause the video and look at those, and then I'll tell you what the actual answer is. So here we go. We'll start with the reading and go from there. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Unemployment exists officially when people in the civilian labor force, 16 years and older, are willing and able to work and actively looking for a job, but they can't find one. The unemployment rate is the number of people unemployed divided by the number of people in the civilian labor force. It is expressed as a percentage. There are various categories of unemployment. They include workers between jobs, frictional unemployment, workers whose industries and skills have been rendered obsolete by a changing economy, structural unemployment, and workers whose jobs have been lost because of general economic factors like a recession, cyclical unemployment. Still, the key conditions in determining whether someone is officially unemployed are no job but ready and looking. While some unemployment is unavoidable, its cost can be considerable to individuals and their families, as well as to society as a whole. So we're going to look at some examples here, and you can tell me which type you think it is, and then I'll tell you if it's right. Well, you're not going to tell me because we're in a video, but you can think it in your mind. Here's a list of friends and relatives. Label them as employed, unemployed, or not in the labor force. And remember, not in the labor force would be you're choosing not to be in it. For the unfortunate friends who are unemployed, characterize them as frictional, structural, or cyclical. So you have it on the top here in this section where it tells you about the 3 different types. Choose which type you think they fit if they are unemployed. So the first one is Joey, age 15. He has dropped out of high school and he can't find a job. So is he employed, unemployed, not in the labor force? What are we seeing there? Take a second and think about it. If he is unemployed, choose a type as well. Okay, pause if you're not ready. If you are ready, Joey is not in the labor force. And the key there is he's 15 years old. He's too young to be considered unemployed. 2, Uncle Paul, age 32, left Riley Auto Sales to find a new job across town. Employed, not in the labor force, or one of the types of unemployment. I'll pause for a second. Okay, Uncle Paul is unemployed. He is considered, let's see here, he left his job to find a new job across town. That would be frictional unemployment, and he's in between jobs. And while he is unemployed, he would not receive benefits there because he chose to leave his job. 3rd, Aunt Millie, age 38, laid off at the beginning of a recession, desperate for work. Take your pick, employed, unemployed, not in the labor force. Aunt Millie is unemployed. Which type is it? So for her, this would be cyclical unemployment because she didn't choose it, and it's because of a bad economy. Mario, age 50, quit his job after winning the lottery, enjoying an early retirement. Which type does he fit with? Well, Mario's not in the labor force. He's decided to leave the labor force because he won the lottery. So yeah, congratulations to Mario. Jan, age 23, fired from her last job but not looking for work right now. Well, Jan is not in the labor force because she's choosing not to look for work. On the top, Hiroko, age 58, formerly a top engineer in the nearly obsolete LP record industry until her employer went out of business, looking to find a position in the CD industry. This is really old paper, records and CDs. So old records went out of style. The new thing at the time is CDs, trying to get a job there. What category is this? So this would be unemployed, and it would be our second category, which is structural, because the industry is changing, and therefore she's unemployed because of that. So a few other things to think about here. Jim is married and a father of 3. Yeah, it sounds like me. He recently lost his job when his company went out of business. He qualified for some temporary unemployment compensation from the state, and his family had some limited savings. Still, these monies only partially cover the loss of his income. Assume that Jim is your dad. What is the cost of his unemployment in monetary and non monetary terms? So, in monetary terms, financially, how does this hurt the family? So, you can pause and think about it. Well, obviously, you're in a situation where your family's not going to have as much money, and you're going to have to make some hard decisions about how you're going to spend that money and what you're going to cut. Non monetary, meaning what are the other impacts? You're going to have dad at home, and that might be hard. It may upset the balance of the house. He may be a little crabby and cranky. I know I would if I was unemployed. He may need to try to find a job working different hours so you don't see him as much. He may have to go back to college. It could be a lot of different things there. So, what specific goods and services would your family have to do without if your family's income dropped by 50%? So, think about that. You lose half your money. What do you have to change? Now, for me, if we lost half our money, we may have to rent an apartment and sell our house. If it was long term, we may need to go down to one car to cut insurance costs. We definitely won't be eating out. Snacks won't happen as much. Probably cut back on internet and cell phone, all those things. The next one, what is the cost of Jim's unemployment in monetary and non-monetary terms to society? So financially, Jim being unemployed means taxes are not coming in for him and money is going out from the government to pay him. And that's a double whammy that really hurts because the government's not getting money, but the government has to pay out money. And that makes it hard for everybody. Non-monetary terms, his services aren't being used. He's probably good at something, but it's not happening now, which is harmful. And lastly, what specific businesses might be affected by your family's, loss of income? So think about, what are the places you go to if you go out to eat, or stores you like to shop at? What's really going to be impacted if your family is unemployed? So unemployment is not a good thing. We don't want it. But the fact that we do have unemployment benefits is pretty nice. It does give people a cushion to look for a job that's fitting instead of just finding the first one that's available, and hopefully get back on their feet with a job that's going to last a long time. So that's all we have for this. If you have any questions about this, it just gives you a chance to look through types of unemployment and look at really how would this impact your life, because it certainly would if it was you or somebody in your family. So have a great day.